What's up, YouTube? It's your boy DJ Strike It Up, coming to you from my garage. Now, this is a place that I want to spend more time in. Right now, I'm only in here if I'm working on one of my cars, but I need to be in here more often. We just bought this house 2 years ago, and there's still a lot of things I need to get organized and situated, and there's never enough time. But the previous owner did a really phenomenal job of just setting up everything. Lots of room, lots of places to hang things, and I need to do my part now. I need to kind of organize, get rid of some things, and just, get situated. But another reason I need to be in here is, man, I got awesome lighting. I don't need to set up anything in here as far as lighting goes. Should make for recording videos really easy whenever I'm working on any car projects or any other type of projects. One of those projects today is the paintball field. And this is something that I figured this is what I'm going to do a lot of working on right now with this whole coronavirus shelter in place lockdown. If you guys don't know, especially if you don't live in Chicago or in Illinois, the governor followed the lead of Governor Trump, of President Trump, and said we're going to extend the shelter in place another 30 days. So that gives us a lot of time to, get some other projects done. In here, I need to change the garage door opener, organize. But I also get to tackle one of the biggest challenges, I guess you can say, when it comes to my paintball field. How are we going to get air into these paintball tanks, air tanks for our paintball guns? And when you go to a paintball field, it's kind of easy. They have the fill stations, but of course my field is a private field, so I have to do all that. And doing some research and checking out the blogs and everything. And one of the things that I learned was that we can use these big tanks to fill up these little tanks. So I'm sure you guys have seen a picture, and I'll post a picture right now. I bought 3 air tanks. Now, these are the tanks that firemen use. Not scuba tanks, but these are air tanks that firemen use whenever they're going into a situation where they're going to need air. And so I was able to buy 3 of these at a killer price, super cheap. Shout outs to the seller who hooked me up. So now the challenge was, how are we going to get air from these big tanks to these little tanks? And I finally got something in the mail that I had bought. So I'm going to show that to you guys right now. All right, everybody, here is the air tank. This is a Scott 60-minute air tank. This is not a scuba tank, okay? This is not meant to go underwater. This is a carbon fiber air tank. You would normally see these on the back of firemen carrying fresh air for them to breathe. Okay, so this is the part that came in today. So this is the connector. This is what connects this air tank to this air tank. And the reason for that is you need a tank with a hose that has a Foster fitting like this. And of course, this air tank has this big hole, this valve right here. So you need this thing with the appropriate hose with the fitting that would fit on either one of these tanks. Okay, so I really wanted to make this video for my paintball crew. CRB stands for Chi-Town Rec Ballers, because when I bought the field and I was sharing my vision to paintball at that field, one of the first questions that came up was, well, how are we going to get air into our tanks? Because this is a private paintball field now. This isn't a place that has electricity, so that means we can't really connect a crazy compressor to do all of this. So we would either have to bring some sort of a generator to power a compressor that would fill up our tanks, and that can get a little expensive, or we have to fill up some tanks and bring the tanks with us. So I bought 3 of these. Like I said, I got them at a killer price. And the goal is that we'll fill these up here at home and fill these up and obviously fill up our tanks. And then when we're playing and we start to get low, then we just connect it to this and fill these up. So of course we're limited by how much air we can take in these tanks, but I think we'll be all right because it is a private paintball field. We can play for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, or until our air runs out. So that's going to be probably the next video. I'm going to fill one of these up and fill up maybe a tank and take it with me and literally just shoot and see how much time or how many paintballs or just, you know, what's going to be an expected length of a day playing with one of these. Or in other words, how long am I going to be able to play with just one of these tanks? And the goal, I hope, is that maybe half a tank per person. So if I have 3 tanks, that means 6 people can come and play. But like I said, that's the goal. So for now, I wanted to test this out. So I connected this up and I filled this tank up and it did good. This tank was down to like about a 1. So I filled it back up. So this tank is full now. And this tank was at almost full. And if you look right now, it's not all the way full. But now I want to fill this tank up. Okay, so I already connected my hose. The bleed valve right here. And the reason you need that is because when you're done filling and you need to disconnect this hose, you don't want the hose to be flapping everywhere. So you need to relieve that pressure. Okay, and if you look, this tank is almost at about a 1. So let's open this up. See if I can do this with this hand. You should start to see and hear air. Okay, so opening this up slowly, obviously. And there it is. So it's pressuring, and that's pressuring. And we're good right about there. Okay, so now I've closed it back up, and now I gotta open up this the bleed valve so that I can let this air out. So now that hose is depressurized. So now should be safe for me to disconnect it and not to get hurt. And there it is. So that's disconnected. And there it is. Not bad, guys. So it fills up this paintball tank. You hear the garbage truck outside. So this little tank powers my paintball pistol, and I also play with the regular gun, and it's good for at least a game, if not 2. And it's a small enough tank that I can easily throw it on a belt, on a utility belt, so it's not clunky, it's not heavy, and I get to play. So that is filled, and you remember where this tank was at, so you can see how it starts to go down. So I think we'll be fine. We should get, you know, at least a few fills per each tank to help us out. Now, hopefully this should last us a while. We might have to pick up more air tanks, and that's fine if we have to. And there are other options. We can buy a compressor that is powered by your car battery that can easily fill these tanks if they start to get a little low. Now, obviously, you don't want to fill a tank completely from 0 to the top, but you know, it's really meant for just topping off your tank when it starts to get low. So that's going to be probably the next thing I'm going to look at. But I just wanted to show you guys the new project that I'm working on, especially right now with the coronavirus and all that. It gives me a little bit of time to put some work here inside the shop. So hopefully you guys are getting excited just like me for the weather to get better and we can get out there and have some fun. All right, it's your boy DJ Strike It Up. Thank you for checking out my channel. I'll catch you guys next time.